When a woman is deeply attracted to a man, her behavior changes in subtle but measurable ways. These shifts are not random. They are rooted in evolutionary psychology and social dynamics. A key indicator is her gaze. Eye contact becomes sustained and meaningful. She's not just looking at you, she's observing, connecting. Her pupils may dilate slightly, which is an involuntary physiological response to high interest and arousal. This isn't conscious, it's biological. Her body language speaks volumes, often saying more than her words ever could. When a woman feels deeply attracted to a man, her movements, posture, and gestures reveal a great deal about her emotions. One of the clearest indicators of her interest is the way she orients herself toward you. Whether she's sitting or standing, she'll angle her body in your direction, subtly yet intentionally minimizing the physical space between you. This isn't merely about proximity. It's a subconscious act of creating an atmosphere of intimacy and connection. Leaning in slightly during a conversation is another strong signal. When she leans closer, she's showing that she's engaged and interested, actively seeking to bridge the physical distance. It's her way of drawing you into her personal space, which is often reserved for those she feels a deep connection with. This gesture conveys that she's focused on you and wants to foster closeness, both emotionally and physically. Even if the conversation is lighthearted, the act of leaning in signals her desire to create a more intimate dynamic. And her posture also shifts to signal receptivity and openness. A woman who feels comfortable and attracted to you will avoid closed-off body language, like crossing her arms or turning away. Instead, she'll adopt a more relaxed and approachable stance. Her arms might rest at her sides or subtly gesture toward you, showing that she's fully engaged and unguarded. Open posture is a subconscious way of inviting connection, signaling that she's ready to let you into her world. In a crowded room, her body language becomes even more telling. Even when surrounded by other people, she'll make a conscious effort to maintain alignment with you, ensuring that you remain the focal point of her attention. She might angle her body toward you, even while speaking to someone else, subtly demonstrating that her primary interest lies with you. This unconscious prioritization of your presence over others speaks volumes about her feelings. Another key element of body language is how she mirrors your movements. Mirroring is a subconscious way people build rapport and connection, and it's especially noticeable when someone feels deeply attracted. If you lean forward slightly, she might do the same. If you adjust your posture, she might mirror it moments later, instinctively syncing with your energy and presence. And her hands also play a role in expressing attraction. She may fidget with her jewelry, smooth out her clothing, or brush her hair back as she talks to you. These small, seemingly insignificant gestures are actually indicators of her being self-aware in your presence. They're not random. They're signs of her wanting to appear at her best when she's around you. Even her feet can reveal her feelings. If her feet are pointed toward you while you're talking, it's a subtle but strong indication of interest. Feet often unconsciously show where our attention is directed. So if they're angled toward you, it's a physical cue that her focus is on you. Her physical presence in your space is another clue. If she finds subtle ways to close the gap between you, like moving closer when she's talking, or casually brushing against you, it's her way of testing comfort and creating a sense of intimacy. The way she manages proximity is a significant part of body language that communicates how drawn she is to you. Even her breathing might change when she's around you. You might notice her taking slightly deeper or quicker breaths, especially if the energy between you is charged with tension or excitement. This shift in her breathing is a subconscious reaction to her attraction and an indication of how your presence impacts her. All these physical cues come together to tell a story of how she feels about you. Each movement, gesture, and posture reveals a layer of her emotions, often expressing what words cannot. If you pay close attention to these signals, you'll gain a deeper understanding of her attraction and what she might be feeling in the moment. Touch is another form of unspoken communication that holds immense significance when it comes to attraction. When a woman feels a connection with you, she'll instinctively find subtle ways to initiate contact. These gestures may seem casual on the surface, but they are intentional and carry a deeper meaning. A light touch on the arm during conversation, a gentle brush against your shoulder as she walks past. These moments are far from accidental. They serve as a way for her to test boundaries, gauge your reaction, and foster a sense of comfort and trust. The first touches are often fleeting, almost imperceptible, like her fingers grazing yours when handing you something, or her hand briefly resting on your forearm while laughing at a joke. These touches may be small, but they are deliberate and exploratory. By initiating physical contact in this way, she's signaling her interest and testing whether you're open to the connection she's trying to establish. It's her way of bridging the gap between emotional and physical intimacy, laying the groundwork for a deeper bond. As the connection grows, so does her confidence in initiating more sustained or meaningful touches. You might notice her hand lingering slightly longer during a handshake, or resting on your shoulder in a way that feels natural but intentional. These moments are her way of breaking down barriers and creating a sense of closeness. Even playful gestures like a nudge or a soft tap on the arm can carry a deeper message of attraction and comfort. Touch is also a tool she uses to express vulnerability and invite reciprocity. When she touches you, she's not only communicating her interest, but also opening the door for you to respond in kind. The way you react to these moments can either reinforce her feelings or make her reassess her approach. A positive response, like smiling, leaning into the touch, or subtly returning it, can encourage her to feel more at ease and deepen the connection. Another layer to this dynamic is how she uses touch to create a sense of exclusivity. In a group setting, for instance, a woman who feels a strong attraction may find opportunities to touch you more frequently than others. Whether it's brushing lint off your jacket, adjusting your collar, or playfully bumping into you, these actions set you apart from everyone else. They're her way of signaling that you hold a special place in her attention and focus. Touch often becomes more nuanced as the attraction develops. For instance, if she places her hand on your knee during a conversation or lightly runs her fingers along your arm, these are signs of growing comfort and a desire to deepen the physical connection. These gestures are more intimate and require a higher level of trust, indicating that she feels safe and drawn to you on a deeper level. This is something I think that requires often explored in ninja behavior counseling that I'll discuss in a future talk. Even accidental touches like her knees brushing against yours while sitting close can be telling. While they may appear unintentional, they often reflect her subconscious desire to be near you. If she doesn't pull away quickly, or even seems to welcome the contact, it's a sign that she's comfortable and enjoys being in your physical space. Her choice of touch also conveys her emotional state. A soft, lingering touch may indicate tenderness or affection, while a playful or light-hearted touch can express excitement and joy. The context and energy behind each gesture reveal her intentions and feelings, offering you insight into the connection she's trying to build. Touch is a universal language, but it becomes deeply personal when attraction is involved. Each gesture, no matter how small, is a step toward creating a shared sense of intimacy. When a woman initiates touch, she's not just testing boundaries, she's communicating her interest and inviting you to move closer, both physically and emotionally. Recognizing and responding to these cues can help you understand the depth of her feelings and strengthen your bond. Her voice changes too. In ways that are subtle yet deeply revealing, it softens, the tone becoming gentler and more inviting. You'll notice her speech slows slightly, as if she's savoring each word while speaking directly to you. There's an almost melodic quality to her voice, a rhythm that draws you in and makes the conversation feel more intimate. This isn't something she consciously does. It's a natural response when she feels a connection and wants to deepen it. Pay attention to how her voice changes, specifically when addressing you versus others in the room. She may lower her tone, speaking in a way that feels more personal, as though the conversation is meant only for you. The subtle shifts in pitch and pace aren't random. They're instinctive adjustments aimed at creating a sense of closeness and exclusivity. You'll also notice her laughter becomes more frequent, especially when it's in response to your jokes, even those that might not be particularly funny. This isn't necessarily about humor, it's about connection. Laughter is a powerful tool for building rapport and creating a shared emotional experience. When she laughs, it's her way of showing approval and signaling that she enjoys your company. It's less about the content of the joke and more about the way it makes her feel in your presence. Her laughter will often feel different too, more genuine, unguarded, and sometimes even a little exaggerated. It's her way of amplifying the positive energy between you, creating a feedback loop that strengthens the bond. In these moments, she's not just reacting to what you say, she's communicating how much she values the interaction and the dynamic you share. You might also observe how her voice becomes more expressive when she's talking to you. There's an added warmth and intentional effort to make the conversation engaging and enjoyable. She might playfully tease you, emphasize certain words, or use a more animated tone, all of which are designed to capture your attention and keep the connection flowing. Even the silences between her words can be telling. A woman who feels drawn to you might allow pauses to linger just a little longer, creating moments of quiet intimacy. These pauses aren't awkward. They're charged with a subtle tension, an unspoken invitation to deepen the interaction. Another sign is the way she uses her voice to maintain the flow of conversation. She might ask more questions, offer encouraging responses, or find ways to keep the dialogue moving, ensuring that the interaction doesn't lose its momentum. Her efforts to sustain the exchange reflect her desire to prolong the time you spend connecting, even if it's through something as simple as shared laughter or a soft-spoken comment. Over time, these vocal changes and patterns become more pronounced as her attraction grows. The way she speaks, the tone she uses, and the moments she chooses to laugh all come together to create a dynamic that feels uniquely personal. Each shift in her voice, each laugh, and each word becomes part of a larger narrative, a story of interest, attraction, and the desire to connect on a deeper level. Recognizing these cues allows you to see beyond the surface and understand the emotional bond she's trying to build with you. Her focus on you intensifies in ways that are unmistakable. When she's engaged in conversation with you, it's as if the rest of the world fades into the background. She listens intently, hanging on to your every word, and her responses aren't superficial or distracted. They're thoughtful and deliberate, showing that she's genuinely invested in what you're saying. You'll notice her asking deeper questions, ones that go beyond surface-level small talk. She's not just passing time, she's digging into who you are, eager to understand your thoughts, experiences, and feelings. In group settings, her focus becomes even more apparent. Despite the presence of others, she finds ways to prioritize her attention on you. She might subtly shift her body toward you, ensuring she's physically aligned with you, even in a crowd. Her eyes will often drift back to you, locking on as if you're the anchor in the room. Even when someone else is speaking, she'll glance in your direction to gauge your reaction or to share a moment of connection. Her laughter, smiles, and reactions will be more pronounced when you're the one talking. She's not just hearing you, she's actively engaging, making you feel like the most important person in the room. This kind of focus isn't scattered or fleeting, it's laser sharp and deliberate, a clear signal of her interest and the significance she places on your presence. But her engagement extends beyond words and reactions. Pay attention to how she creates opportunities to interact with you in these settings. She might steer the conversation toward topics she knows you're passionate about, or find subtle ways to involve you, ensuring that your voice is heard and valued. This is her way of keeping the connection alive and ensuring that you remain at the center of her attention. Even her subtle actions speak volumes. She might lean in closer when you're talking, nodding or tilting her head slightly to show she's fully tuned in. Her facial expressions will mirror your energy. If you're serious, she'll reflect that intensity. If you're playful, she'll respond with equal enthusiasm. These are subconscious ways of aligning with you, reinforcing the bond that she feels and wants to deepen. In moments when others vie for her attention, you'll notice how she subtly redirects herself back to you, whether it's a glance, a quick comment, or a shift in her body language. She'll find ways to signal that you're her priority, even amidst a group dynamic. Her effort to maintain this connection, despite competing distractions, is a strong indicator of her attractive. Over time, this focus becomes even more pronounced. She'll remember small details from previous conversations, bringing them up to show that she's not only listening, but also valuing what you share. Her curiosity about you isn't fleeting, it's consistent, growing with every interaction. This depth of attention reveals more than just casual interest. It's a window into her desire to know you on a meaningful level. Her focus is more than just a behavior, it's an experience. It's the way she makes you feel seen, heard, and understood in a way that sets her apart. This level of connection doesn't happen by chance. It's a deliberate, instinctive response when she feels drawn to you. Recognizing these moments allows you to see the depth of her interest and the effort she's putting into building something real with you. Appearance plays a significant role in the dynamic of attraction, often reflected in subtle, instinctive behaviors. When a woman is drawn to you, she'll make small, almost imperceptible adjustments to how she presents herself. These aren't grand gestures, but quiet indicators that she's attuned to your presence. You might notice her smoothing her outfit, as if to ensure she looks her best, or fixing her hair with a quick, natural motion. Sometimes she'll glance at her reflection, perhaps in her phone screen or a nearby mirror, making subtle checks to confirm that she's presenting herself in a way that feels appealing. These actions aren't calculated, but are deeply rooted in her subconscious desire to leave a positive impression. She wants you to see her at her best, not out of vanity, but because she values the way you perceive her. It's her way of communicating without words that your opinion matters to her. Her smile becomes another telling sign. It's not just frequent, it's genuine and warm, carrying a brightness that's reserved specifically for you. This isn't the polite smile she might share with others. It's a smile that lingers, one that seems to reflect her happiness in your presence. You'll notice her expression softening when she looks at you, her eyes lighting up in a way that makes her emotions unmistakable. Even her posture shifts subtly to complement her appearance. She might straighten her back, hold her head a little higher, or position herself in a way that draws your attention. These adjustments happen naturally, as if her body is instinctively aligning with her feelings. In group settings, these cues become even more apparent. While she might interact with others, her focus on you often drives these small acts of self-awareness. She's conscious of how she looks and how she's presenting herself, all aimed at capturing and holding your attention. The beauty of these behaviors is in their subtlety. They're not meant to demand attention, but to invite it. Recognizing these cues allows you to see the unspoken effort she's making, an effort driven by her attraction and her desire to connect with you. It's in these small, seemingly inconspicuous gestures that her feelings become most evident, and the success helps even the disillusioned. Emotional openness is a powerful indicator of attraction, often revealing a woman's deeper feelings without the need for words. When she feels safe and comfortable around you, especially when there is a growing sense of attraction, she begins to open up in ways that go beyond surface-level interactions. This isn't just about sharing random facts or trivial details. It's about revealing personal aspects of her life that she wouldn't typically share with just anyone. Yeah, she's answered my question with the need for a ways to talk is typical. But as she talks about her past experiences, her family, or her hopes and dreams, it's clear that she's letting her guard down. This emotional vulnerability is not something she does lightly. It's a trust-building exercise, a sign that she feels secure enough with you to share what's truly meaningful to her. By doing so, she's implicitly inviting you into her inner world, signaling that she wants you to know her on a deeper level. This vulnerability is a delicate dance where she's testing whether you're someone who will listen, understand, and reciprocate. Her openness isn't about seeking pity or sympathy. It's about forming a connection. It's her way of signaling that she values emotional intimacy and sees you as someone worthy of sharing these parts of herself with. Sometimes this emotional sharing happens gradually. It could start with small anecdotes or opinions, but over time she might reveal more personal aspects of her life, from past relationships to her personal struggles. The key here is that she's giving you access to the more private areas of her mind and heart. She's showing you who she truly is, hoping that you'll appreciate her authenticity and that this connection can evolve into something more meaningful. This level of emotional sharing is often a precursor to a more intimate bond, as she's testing not only your response, but your ability to understand and support her. It's a powerful form of communication, one that bypasses words and goes straight to the core of emotional intimacy. If she feels like you respect her vulnerability, she will likely continue to share, deepening the connection. And if she's met with openness and understanding in return, this emotional transparency will strengthen her attraction. It becomes a cycle. She opens up, you respond, and both of you get closer, emotionally and perhaps physically. Her emotional openness is a silent invitation to build something more profound than just a casual connection. It's about trust, mutual respect, and the desire to build a foundation for something lasting. Playfulness is a natural extension of attraction and a subtle but powerful indicator that a woman feels drawn to you. When she teases you lightly or engages in witty banter, it's often a sign that she feels comfortable enough to let her guard down and have fun in your presence. This kind of playful interaction isn't superficial or just for laughs. It's a way of testing the waters, gauging your reaction, and seeing if you can both engage in a lighthearted, fun dynamic. Humor is an important bonding tool, and when she initiates this type of interaction, it's an indication that she wants to see if you can connect on a playful, intellectual level. Teasing or playful banter is a way of pushing the boundaries of conventional conversation, creating a more relaxed and informal connection. It's a sign that she's comfortable enough to be herself around you, free from the pressure of maintaining a perfectly serious or formal demeanor. In fact, the more she engages in teasing or banter, the more it shows that she's enjoying the dynamic between you two, and that she feels safe enough to let her true personality shine through. Playfulness breaks down walls and allows for a deeper, more relaxed connection to form, often leading to a stronger emotional bond over time. It's also a way of testing how well you can handle challenges to your ego. When she teases you, it's not necessarily about making you uncomfortable. It's about seeing how you respond. If you take the teasing well without getting defensive or upset, it demonstrates that you have the confidence to roll with the flow. This is an attractive quality, as it shows that you don't take yourself too seriously and are capable of handling her playful nature with ease. It signals to her that you have a strong sense of self, which is a trait that many women find deeply attractive. Mirroring behavior, on the other hand, is another significant subconscious cue that reflects a deeper connection. When she begins to mirror your body language, it's a strong sign of rapport. This doesn't just happen with a few shared gestures. It's more subtle than that. If you lean forward, she might unconsciously follow suit. These actions are automatic and not intentionally done, but they indicate a deep psychological alignment and a sense of connection. Mirroring is a social and psychological phenomenon that signifies understanding, empathy, and compatibility. It's a form of nonverbal communication that shows she's tuned into you, paying attention not just to your words, but to your overall energy and demeanor. It's often seen in close relationships or when two people share a strong bond. If she's mirroring your actions, it means she's emotionally and mentally syncing with you, subconsciously indicating that she feels connected to you on a deeper level. And if you have the right object to experience anger with, you are much more likely to have a moment of connection and connection. This behavior signals a desire for closeness and a strong bond. When someone mirrors another's body language, they are in a sense saying that they are on the same wavelength. This isn't just about mimicking gestures. It's an indication of emotional synchronization. It's her subconscious way of saying, I see you, I understand you, and I'm in tune with you. In group settings, this mirroring might happen more subtly, but if you pay close attention, you'll notice her body language adapting to yours. Whether you're in conversation with others or just moving around the room, she might start to match your movements, pace, or posture without even realizing it. It's a sign that she is emotionally aligned with you, and it reinforces the idea that she's paying close attention to you, both physically and emotionally. Mirroring is a powerful, unspoken form of communication, demonstrating mutual understanding and rapport. It's a signal that on some level you both are connecting, not just through words, but through the energy and body language you share. And when she begins to mirror you, it's a clear indication that she's invested in you and your dynamic, seeing you as someone she resonates with on a deeper level. Finally, you'll notice how she creates opportunities to be around you. This is one of the clearest signs of genuine interest. Whether it's extending a conversation by asking more questions or finding reasons to keep the interaction going, she's looking for ways to prolong your time together. She may also subtly suggest future plans or invite you to events, making sure that the chance to be with you doesn't slip away. These actions are deliberate and intentional, showing that she's prioritizing you and the connection you share. It's her way of ensuring that the relationship has room to grow, whether it's through shared activities or simply by staying in each other's presence longer. Her efforts to spend time with you go beyond casual conversations. She's creating an environment where the bond can deepen, and she wants to ensure that it happens naturally. If she's constantly finding ways to interact with you, it's because she feels a strong emotional connection and wants to nurture it. Her actions will tell you that she's willing to put in the work and energy to build something more substantial, signaling that she sees potential in the relationship. Attraction fundamentally is not just about overt gestures or grand declarations. It's about the interplay of subtle cues that build on one another, reflecting deeper psychological and emotional processes. The body language, the moments of vulnerability, the playful interactions. They all come together to create a powerful signal of interest. These subtle cues are rooted in biology, psychology, and social behavior. And when you recognize them, you understand the structure behind the connection. A series of small but significant actions that work together to express attraction, demonstrating an underlying desire for closeness and a deeper bond. What seems like a series of random gestures is actually a well-orchestrated display of attraction that's been shaped over millennia. Humans are wired for connection, and these unspoken signals are part of the biological and psychological systems that help forge relationships. When you pay attention to these signals, you begin to see how everything aligns and builds on each other. Attraction isn't chaotic or random. It's deeply structured, rooted in our evolutionary history, and shaped by social constructs. What may appear to be small, subconscious actions are, in fact, powerful indicators of genuine interest and connection.